Howdy guys, Radio Magic here. I hope you are all having a fantastic morning, day, afternoon or evening, wherever you are and whatever you are up to. I hope you had a good New Year and Christmas as well, since as of the time of recording this, it is just after New Year. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. We took a little bit of time off around Christmas, I think like 7-8 days maybe. Haven't played any Magic or any Arena full stop in that amount of time, so I am a little bit rusty. I'll get onto that in a minute though. But yeah, I just want to spend some time with family and take a bit of a break. So we're back though, playing some more Arena, and yeah, we're trying our mini series. We're back with that, with how viable is Control in the historic meta, and we're jumping all the way back to the first Control list we did with Jeskai Control, arguably my favourite colour combination in all of Magic. And yeah, probably my favorite color combination of Control. Azorius is obviously more consistent, and I think Azorius just beats this out, but I love the combination of adding red in there, and we'll go over why we're playing some red in a minute. But yeah, Jeskai Control. So if you guys know what this does and you don't need any reminders, you've maybe looked at the first video on the channel, you can go back and check that out if that's something you're interested in. I will put a little thing at the top right hand side of the corner right now for you. Then yeah, you can skip ahead. There'll be a deck description in the, like a deck list in the description down below. I messed up my words there, so go check that out if you want the full list. Maybe you want to download it and give it a try for yourself. There's also some timestamps down there, so if you want to skip ahead to the games, then feel free to do so. Maybe you know what Control does, but yeah, for those of you that don't know, I'll go for a little deck tech right now. Yeah, deck tech, just for some of the rationale as to why I've put the cards in, since it's not always obvious why players include the cards that they include. So let's go on to that. But yeah, Jeskai Control. So on the 2-drop slot we have Baffling End. Baffling End, pretty competent removal spell. It's either this, Seal Away, or Justice Strike, I feel, and I think Baffling End is the one I've chosen to go with. It's more consistent in answering what it answers, if that makes sense. We have a lot of answers to stuff above 3 mana, 4, 5, 6, 7, and whatever, like going up the curve. So we just really need to be able to consistently answer things early on, and there's a lot of indestructible threats. I've seen the hate deck popping up a bit recently with the Lion, the 2-mana Selesnya 3/3 that can give indestructible. And Odonto's Vanguard is still a thing, though Odonto's Vanguard doesn't pop up as much. But yeah, Baffling End is really good. We're running some number of Seal Aways in the board, and like I said, not running Justice Strike, although it's flexible with being instant speed. You can cast it off to Fairy on turn 5. It's a little bit unreliable with what it can take down, and I don't think the flexibility of going further up the curve is worth the unreliableness of the card. We're then running one of Search Cantor. We don't really want to see this late game. This is just something early that we don't really want to see this early, sorry. We want to see this late game. It's going to take over. When this was in Standard, it was excellent, and it continues to shine, but Historic is rapidly turning into a format where drawing a few cards dead, especially if you're playing Control, is going to lose the game for you. So we do not want to be drawing multiples of these at all, so much so that we're just going to play the one copy. And then one of my favorite reasons to put red in this list at all is Bone Crusher Giant. We probably all know what Bone Crusher Giant does. For those of you that are not aware, the card is on screen now. It's an adventure card, so what that means is we can cast the instant side of it, or the sorcery, Stomp, and deal 2 damage to any target, and damage can't be prevented. And then it goes to a separate exile zone, in which we can then cast the other side, a 3-mana 4/3, that when it becomes the target of a spell, it deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. So this spell is really, really good for multiple reasons. And one of the reasons is it fills up 2 slots on the curve. We get to go turn 2 Stomp, maybe kill something, shock if we're in the mirror matchup and we're on the draw, then we could maybe shock opponent's Narset, and then we just get to play it out for a 4/3. So it can potentially 2-for-1 your opponent. So really, really good card. And it's good in all matchups pretty much, apart from like the Colourless combo list, which is still is okay. But yeah, Bone Crusher Giant, excellent card. It's popped up. I think it's like one of the most played cards in on Arena at the moment, so there's a good reason for that. But then playing Narsets, 2 of them. We all know what Narset does. We've played this in every single Control list that's played blue so far, and we're playing the other ones in the board. Narset doesn't really need an introduction. The main reason is a search for Azcanta, or Azcanta the Sunken Ruin activation twice, and then it stops our opponent from drawing more cards, so a pretty good effect. We're then running Sweltering Suns, which, though it might be controversial, because we could run Deafening Clarion, because Deafening Clarion is less taxing on the mana basis, because it's double red when a lot of our stuff is double blue, and we even have some double white with Wrath of God as well. We're running Sweltering Suns for the flexibility of being able to cycle this. Deafening Clarion is good because Deafening Clarion can give lifelink for Bone Crusher Giant and our Sharks, which is relevant, definitely good. But I think the flexibility of being able to cycle is slightly better, since there's no, in my experience playing Arena at the moment, and I have taken 7 or 8 days out, so maybe I'm completely incorrect with this assumption, there's not that many aggro lists in the sense of where you want to gain a ton of life. Most decks are the same as they've always been. It's well, mono red is where you'd really want the Deafening Clarion, but most of the time Sweltering Suns, just having the flexibility to cycle it is so much more relevant. There's so many lists at the moment where you just don't want a board wipe, but in the lists where you do want a board wipe, in the matchups where you want them, Sweltering Suns is just an ace. So I think the cycling is better than the ability to be able to give lifelink, which is why we're running this instead. And like I said, it's a bit more taxing on the mana, but we'll see how that works out for us. When they're running our counter spell of choice is Absorb. This is just the life gains better than the Surveil or cycling and other counter spells. And then Cast Out's 4 of, this is going to cycle early if our Searcher's Canter is down. Really flexible removal spell, flash, instant speed, works by counter spells and everything else, Then Wrath of God as our board wipe. This is just the best board wipe in all of Magic, I think. Obviously, that is obviously a sweeping statement, the best board wipe. But this and Damnation are just 4 mana, destroy all creatures, they can't be regenerated, is one of the best board wipes that you can kind of get. So yeah, this is why we're running this instead of Shatter the Sky and Settle the Wreckage. Chandra is free. This is the reason we are playing Jeskai along with Bone Crusher Giant as well, and put some Sweltering Suns in. But Chandra Torture Defiance, I love this card so much. The art looks insane. She does everything you want to do. She comes down on turn 4, which is quite early actually. Gets to gain you some card advantage, ramp you a little bit if you need to. She deals 4 damage to anything, and she's a win con on a stick. I love this. I love Chandra so much, and this is the reason we're going to be playing Jeskai today, and I'm going to try and cram Chandra into as many lists as I can. I'm thinking of making a Is It control list as well, maybe like Is It Burn with like 4 Chandras, just so we can make this work, because I really want to make the +1 to deal 2 damage to an opponent actually relevant. But yeah, and then we're running Teferi as the namesake Planeswalker. What control list in the Azorius colours would not be complete without some number of Teferis? I'm running 3 of these instead. So originally I had 4 and 2 of Chandra, but I went to 3 and 3 just because I love her so much. So we included one of them. And then 4 Shark Typhoons because cycle it early for no value when you need to hit your mana basis, when you need to hit your lands, and then you can cycle it late game to make a big old shark. And yeah, eat some creatures and attack down some planeswalkers, close the game for you if you need. And this in combination with Chandra, you'd be surprised actually in this list. Between Bone Crusher Giant, Shark Typhoon and Chandra, you can close the game much faster. Since if you get down to Chandra, your opponent might be like, say for example in the mirror matchup, your opponent tries to control Chandra by just knocking her down with their 2, let's say their 2/2 Shark, and Chandra's on 6, and they knock her down to 4, and then we go up to 5, and then 3, and you do that little dance. Chandra's dealing 2 damage to that opponent each time. If you've Bone Crusher Gianted your opponent a few times, or you've hit them once or twice with Bone Crusher Giant, or Sharks have got in there, you'll find your opponent's life total starting to dwindle very fast. So yeah, them 3 in combination with each other are really, really good. In terms of the mana basis, this is where most 3-color decks fall short, in my opinion. They normally are beaten out by like Dimir and Azorius Control because they have 2 colors in their mana basis, which means they get to run more consistent stuff with their Castle Ardenvales, their Castle Vantresses, and unfortunately for us, we are stuck running so many Shocks and Jewels. We are running a little bit of value with some Triomes for cycling if we want to, and then Irrigated Farmlands as well. So we've got a little bit of cycling, and I have managed to fit Castle Ardenvale and Vantress in there. So our mana is a little bit wonky. Maybe you guys have some suggestions for different colours of mana. But that is our distribution, and we tried to fit some value in there. I would love to put a Crawling Barons in there, but I just don't think it's really that playable. I mean, not playable, it's outstanding, but I don't think we can fit this in a 3-color deck with so many double pips in our list. As for the sideboard as well, so Grafdigger's Cage is necessary. I feel like this is just so good in so many different matchups. I've played quite a bit today and a little bit yesterday as well. And Grafdigger's Cage, I haven't found any of the Emery combo lists, so I don't know if they're falling off or they were just a thing that popped up for a little bit. And now with people attacking against them, they're not a thing. But this is still good against Goblins, and I think that's a good enough reason to keep that in. And it hits on a few other things. So we're keeping in Grafdigger's Cage, but we're not running them in the main this time. like Grafdigger's Cage again, this is a list that just does not get hit by Grafdigger's Cage, so there's like no disadvantage to playing it. Rest in Peace, so running a one-of because there are still some graveyard lists running around. You've got Jund Sacrifice and like Rakdos Sacrifice, even the Uro list to some extent as well. And we don't mind even with this and Search for Azcanta down, because if we can't flip Search for Azcanta, it's fine. The scrying is still good, and sometimes we're going to flip it early. It's also a little bit more diversity with our answers to things like the Jund and Rakdos Sacrifice lists, because Bedevil is normally their answer to stop these lists, especially if they're in Rakdos, so they don't normally have an answer to Rest in Peace, which is just a little bit more flexibility. And then Seal Away as our extra interaction when we want to bring in some extra bits. Really good with Teferi, like I said earlier, being able to turn 5 Teferi, uptick, and yeah, Seal Away your threat. Really good play. And then we're running Tail's End. At the moment, this seems to just be completely taking over above Disdainful Stroke. So Tail's End is our counterspell instead of Disdainful Stroke. Could be Essence Scatter as well. Could do a 1-1 split, but I'm gone with 2 Tail's End because of the flexibility of it. I feel like this counters pretty much whatever you want it to counter, which is really relevant. 3 Dovin's Vetoes, because why not have a counterspell that can't be countered? Really, really good. Making up the playset of Narset because it's so relevant against Sultai and so many other matchups. And then probably the most controversial card that I've added in to give a shot is Cleansing Nova. The Colourless combo list is something that keeps popping up for me, and I feel like Cleansing Nova is going to be a really good answer to that. It comes in when you just need additional board wipes. Say we're just against some random creature list. Yeah, like your opponent's just playing mid-range creatures, for example. Let's say the Hate Bears list. Cleansing Over is just really good. Just going to keep wiping your opponent, getting 2-for-1s. 1-for-1's fine, but 2-for-1, 3-for-1's good. And it also has the flexibility of being able to shut down the Colourless combo list a little bit by just blowing up all of their stuff, since a lot of their cards come in the form of mana rocks. So yeah, being able to wipe that way is all good. And ECD is not something that's shown up in any lists recently, but we've thrown a one-of in the board because it's really good in so many different matchups, and I wasn't sure what else to put in, so I thought ECD. And hopefully this will come in quite a few different matchups. So that is the list. I hope you guys enjoyed deck tech, I guess. And I hope you, yeah, that's it. Just pretty much Jeskai Control. We're going to run a few games. Like I said, I've taken like 7 days, 8 days out of playing at the moment. So I am really rusty. So this is not going to be a day in which we are on our best form and we are playing to the utmost competitiveness, and I'm falling back down to gold because of the season change as well. So we're playing against not less skilled opponents, but people in gold instead of diamond and platinum. So that will be a change. And like I said, I have not played much Magic recently in the last week, so I am definitely quite rusty. So we will see how we get on with that. But yeah, that is the list. Let's jump into a few games and I'll catch you again at the end with the wrap up. Okay, so on the play with Jeskai Control in Historic, and yeah, gonna have to mulligan this one away. 1 land, can't really keep that. We will certainly keep this though. What land are we putting on the bottom? Or what card? Do we get greedy and put a land on the bottom? Probably not. We're running 27 lands, so we are likely to draw lands. We are on the play though. Maybe just put an irrigated farmland on the bottom. We can do everything. Can always cycle Shark Typhoon on turn 3 to be able to draw the extra land, hopefully. Like, we get punished if we don't draw lands, and it would be unfortunate, but we shall see. Okay, against Azorius Control. This is probably, since we're really glad we drew land there, this is probably an opportunity to get down on Narset against Azorius. They go down Search for Azcanta. It gives our opponent a chance to get down like Gideon, or if they're on that variant. But mirror matchup feels okay. I guess we get absorbed now. The fact our opponent did nothing there feels good. So we'll either cycle Shark Typhoon for 1 to try and hit our land drops, or we'll absorb something here. Opponent's just gonna cycle their own Shark Typhoon. So probably was a reason to not tick down on that Narset. I'm just going to trade this off. There's not much our opponent could have here apart from an additional Narset of their own. In which case we both have Narsets. It's okay. So again, they could cycle Shark Typhoon here. Opponent's just going to cast out. I think that's fine. We can cast out their cast out at some point to get our Narset back, and we could try and do that in the end step.
Such violence is upsetting.
And then we'll be in a position where Shark Typhoon won't finish Narset straight away. So yeah, we will cut. We're playing into a sensor here. Something we want to play into. Opponent gets to censor. I guess they can't hold up absorb. Then. Opponent won't be able to hold up and absorb. If we draw another land, then we'll probably just go with the Teferi. We're really hoping to draw land here. Opponent has a censor, but they're strapped on blue mana at the moment. Sweet. So hopefully we get to play around their other censor if they have one in hand. Yes, so we get to resolve that. I wonder if we just tuck the cast out here. Just to get our Narset back. Just guaranteed value. If our opponent didn't have the... Yeah, we'll take the Searcher's Cancer. If our opponent didn't have the sensor there, we probably would have upticked so we could hold up absorb. But since our opponent had the second sensor, we'll just go with that. And now we get to just go.
We need to move quickly.
So Shark Typhoon would finish off Narset anyway. I guess Castle Arden Vale will finish off Narset if we tick down. So probably just leaving it. We'll just get down our Search Canter. Not running Field of Ruin. So I cannot finish off their Search Canter. But they're going to Castle Arden Vale instead. So yeah, happy we didn't tick down the Narset here. And end step we could always Shark Typhoon. And then that puts up a blocker for this. Or we can just start trying to close the gap. Opponent has an opportunity to cast out if they'd like to. But we just drew land, so we're happy to bin that. But yeah, Teferi's just... Now we've got a few cards off of it, it feels like we're in good shape. So what are we doing here? Just passing turn. Could just play the Bone Crusher Giant out. Could just attack, start to close the game. Our opponent has to answer our Planeswalkers, but at the same time we can start to close it. And we could just play the Bone Crusher Giant as a blocker. Guess we'll just cycle Shark Typhoon, hold up our mana. Let's untap our lands. So yeah, opponent's like a little bit off being able to activate Search Cancer at the same time. We haven't found any of our castles. If we were in Azorius, then we'd have more castles. But we are running a few, trying to take advantage of the mana. Yeah, I think just allow this and we'll Shark Typhoon in the end step. So just going for 5 here. And then another Bone Crusher Giant is going to be quite close to lethal. So opponent can answer a Planeswalker here, but they're really close to just dying on the ground. And yeah, this card, they've got to be careful because this cast out can get that Teferi back. Chandra could just be lethal as well. Just play Chandra for a counterspell. Play land to play around a sensor. And then Chandra is lethal here, so they need to do something, yeah. Sweet. I love Azorius, but Chandra is so good. Love it so much. Right, how we board him? We got particular stuff to bring in here. Want to cut a load of these dead cards. And yeah, pretty much that looks great. Want all of these cards, all of these things do stuff. Bone Crusher Giant, some added pressure, can finish off some Narsets or Teferis. And yeah. Cleansing Nova could be good to destroy all their cast outs, but it could get our own cast outs in the process, so we'll just run it like that. I think we're going to have to mulligan this hand away. I think in game 1 we had a similar hand to this. 1-lander. We're going to have to mulligan though. I guess we'll keep this 2-lander. Maybe put Teferi on the bottom. We're going to cycle this cast out early, I'd imagine. Bone Crusher Giant's going to be... Maybe we just put the Bone Crusher on the bottom. I like ECD in this matchup. I don't know if it's correct to put Bone Crusher on the bottom, since we could have shocked something and then played Bone Crusher Giant, but a lot of this matchup is about holding up your counter spells. So we don't really have time to tap down for Bone Crusher. It's more something we want to find later in the game. Because, like, there's quite a lot of value in one card, even in these matchups. And yeah, I might just cycle this cast out here. Let's try and find something. Could always Shark Typhoon for 1. Opponent's shocking, maybe for like double sensor. I mean, we don't have to cycle Shark Typhoon. So, not playing the double red for Chandra, I don't need to at the moment. I'm more inclined to cycle Shark Typhoon this turn. Absorb is nice. I mean, let's shot. I don't know what we'd need it for, what we can represent. I guess we could represent Sensor as well as Absorb. If our opponent's playing at a Keen Eye, they've got a Keen Eye, they'll notice we didn't play any Sensors in game 1. Just want to dig, I think, here. Just gonna try and close the game. Maybe it was correct to keep that Bone Crusher Giant. I assume our opponent has like a million counter spells. That's why they're just activating Castle Warden Vale here. But we're gonna Shark Typhoon for 4 in our opponent's end step, and then that's a pretty quick clock. I doubt our opponent kept in their board wipes. Maybe they were scared of like Dream Trawlers and that. Do we cast out this? Don't think we can afford to. Opponent gets to smack us for 7. They'll get to resolve something. If we don't, we can't win the race. Maybe our opponent still plays around Dovin's Veto. Because we're still representing like Disdainful Stroke, Dovin's Veto. I'm just not going to play around it.
You know what? I'm not done.
I mean, we are just threatening Teferi here. So we can ECD and take out a Planeswalker. Should we see if ECD resolves first? We could go for lethal, but if our opponent has a Dovin's Veto, it doesn't feel too good. If our opponent has a Dovin's Veto, this is going to feel bad as well. Yeah, they got a Dovin's Veto. So I think we just killed Teferi here. We could put our opponent to 2. Equally, we could put them in lethal range and kill just Narset. Let them have 1 extra card. Go like that instead. They get 1 extra card of Teferi. Because if we could kill both Planeswalkers here, then I'd be inclined to do that. But I think we go like this, and then they're still in lethal range next turn, which means they're going to have to do something in our main phase. But if they cycle a Shark Typhoon, they need to make it big enough to eat the 4/4. Okay, they're just going to tick down. So Teferi's still in range. I'm gonna attempt to stop that. Opponents can Dovin's Veto it. Can absorb it. Gain a little bit more life. Okay. Do they have another Dovin's Veto? It's gonna feel bad if they do. Opponent's got the absorb. So Chandra's going to be lethal in 2 turns.
It's my turn. This'll be easy.
So opponent's got to find an answer to Chandra. And I don't think it can be a cast out, since we can answer our opponent's cast out. That's not it. That makes me feel good. Oh! Nice! Okay, so they're gaining themselves the small amount of life just to survive 1 more turn. And then Teferi's going to be able to tuck.
Nobody tells me what to do.
I like it. Oh. Okay.
Oh, today's my lucky day.
Just cast out. Play our own Teferi if our opponent counters it. We'll just test the way. Oh, nice! Fair enough. Opponent played really well. I like the Amiria's call into counter your own Amiria's call to stay alive. Yeah, we definitely made some mistakes going there, but it's been a while since we've played Magic, so still getting back into the swing of it. But yeah, that was fun. Let's move on to the next game. So I think we got a mulligan this hand. 1 land. No lands. Yeah, we can keep this. Probably want to keep one of our utility lands. So maybe put Glacial Fortress on the bottom. I guess we need double blue. So I'll probably just put the Castle Ardenvale on the bottom. And got to put another card on the bottom. I guess it's cast out. And we got a 2-mana play, a 3-mana play, and then a board wipe. Doesn't feel good though, not going to lie. And opponent with the mana acceleration as well. So we'll see. Hoping for, I guess I could just a creature matchup. Oh, nice. Playing against like Hate Bears. I think I'm just going to... Oh, wait. Oh, no. Oh, we couldn't play the Glacial Fortress anyway. Oh, it enters tapped because of the Archon. Sorry, I was just sorting my life out. Okay, so all of them enter tapped. So, I guess we're Bone Crusher Gianting. Try and slow our opponent down. Play the Triome, enter tapped. The Glacial Fortress is going to enter tapped, but we'll play the Bone Crusher Giant in an attempt to block, and then hopefully the board wipe will be enough to slow our opponent down. So our opponent's on like Hate Bears. I'm not sure what this is. Gains indestructible to end of turn. When it dies, you get to return it as an aura. So Wrath of God's not going to work too well against the Lion. So we can make our opponent... I guess we just take that. I'm liking just Chandra kill the Archon. Then we can block Lion. Because the board wipe doesn't really do much. I mean, it does some bits, but... Gonna see a collected company in the end step here. Yeah. Interesting what our opponent does here. They might just Archon the Chandra and then Lion us. No, everything's coming at us. So we can board wipe, add some mana, play Bone Crusher Giant. I think that's our way to survive. Gets to return. It's just the same ability twice though. I think this is the only way we survive this. And then this enters tapped. Into on 2 already. We have to block. Our opponent can give indestructible. So we really need to find a cast out. Unfortunately, our Mulligan hurt us bad because cast out would have been really good in this situation. Do we let this go? Narset's already an extra draw. Make our opponent. This way our opponent can't just... If we let them kill Chandra, they could have collected company in the end step. So if we tick up with Chandra adding mana, 2 blue, and then we have 1 floating still. Is there any reason... Yes, I'm aware of my opponent, thank you very much. I guess there's no reason... We have to find something to do, don't we? Has to be a Baffling End. I guess Bone Crusher Giant as well. Baffling End does it. Chandra doesn't do much because if we tick up, we can add 1. So that would have been the reason actually to add mana to the mana pool. So we could have held up Absorb still. So I guess we're just exiling the top card.
Yup, you're going down.
So hopefully our opponent doesn't have a flash 2-drop. Untapping with 2 Planeswalkers in play though. Gonna draw some extra cards. Gonna hope this is gonna be okay. If we can untap the Absorb. Oof. I guess it's just a 4 mana 4/4 here. We don't really care about the pay life or sacrifice. I really like the list our opponent's on. I don't know how good it is, but Selesnya Hate Bears feels okay. So we can finish off the Yishan. Let's dig first.
Keep an open mind.
Don't mind other Chandra now. And then we can play Chandra, hold up Absorb still.
Let's do this. This'll be easy.
And Chandra's going to start pinging our opponent away. Opponent can finish off Narset. I don't know how good that is. But I'm just liking the life gain. Tons of creatures in the graveyard. Chandra won't be able to finish that off. Our opponent can steal Lovestruck Beast. So we're not out of the woods yet. If our opponent Lovestruck Beast here, it's interesting what we do, because if we finish off the 1-1, we put ourselves in a position.
I have reached my limit.
So opponent has a Collected Company.
Yup, you're going down.
I don't think we can do that. I think we just gotta do this so the Lovestruck Beast can't attack or make our opponent go through the extra legwork, especially if they Collected Company here into another Lovestruck Beast, and then the Bone Crusher Giant can at least block. So hoping for some not very good hits here. The fact they haven't slammed makes me think they have something. Yeah, I think that's just lethal, isn't it? Yeah, opponent can Scamchigoo's. Yep. Scoop it up there. Sweet. No, yeah, that was really good. Unfortunately, I think we had to mulligan to 5, which hurt us a bit. We were really close to stabilizing there. Just need a little bit more. So I think we just want our removal spells. Board wipes feel good. What do we like not want? I think we want all of this stuff. I don't think we want the extra Cleansing Novas. This is more there for our artifact matchup and just sort of trying it out. Grafdigger's Cage could be good against the Collector Company, but apart from that, doesn't feel that great. What do we not want? Like maybe Surtress Canter is just too slow. And like a Shark Typhoon. Shark Typhoon feels okay though. Make up one Shark Typhoon. Need our early game. We just need to survive. We just need to survive against the Hate Bears, I think. ECD doesn't feel too good. Opponent's running loads of 2 CMC and less. So on the play now with a actual playable hand. So we're going to keep this. CLOA is going to be quite good. We can cycle Shark Typhoon on 2 or no, 3 or 4 if we want to. And then hopefully Teferi's going to take over a little bit. I think that's the better of the 2 drops our opponent could have. 1 drops. I'd rather have that than Lana Elves, I think. Sweet. So our opponent's got, if they just go Lovestruck Beast here, probably just going to wipe the board away. Yeah, we'll just wipe the board here. And land is actually awesome, because now we get to Teferi next turn into hold up, seal away. Even through an Archon. Yeah, it would have been most annoying if opponent had a Yishan there. I don't know if they keep it in after boarding. But yeah, Teferi hold up, seal away is quite good.
I'm known for my excellent. Let's skip to the good part.
That's why I love Seal Away, such a good combination with Teferi. And then getting to untap and play Chandra. And we get hold up like Cast Out.
Every day is a new mutation.
So I think we're ticking up. So we can tick up with Teferi, play Chandra, tick up with Chandra's mana to add mana for cast out. Because I don't really want to leave Chandra dead to this token. So let's tick. Equally, we could... Yeah, I don't think there's anything... We could tuck... Tucking this just feels... Nah, I want to get our Planeswalkers as high as loyalty as possible.
You know what? I'm not done.
Threatening lethal with them is good. So yeah, like... So our opponent will get to attack one of our Planeswalkers. It won't kill the Planeswalker.
You and I are gonna take him out.
Yeah, equally we could deal 4 damage, but no, let's tick up.
Today's my lucky day. I'll survive.
I think there's like a few different ways we could have played that, because we could have cast out in the end step. But if we get to untap with... Okay, Skyclave Apparition's actually really good against Chandra. I'm going to take cast out. Okay, nice.
I'm bold as a brushwood, so brace yourself. Savagery loves company.
Nice.
Hope things get out of hand for you.
Opponent's got a nice list. Okay, so because of the aspirant, they are going to get to kill Chandra here. Unfortunately so.
Whatever. Figure it out on your own.
Okay. What are we doing here? Are we cycling first? The irrigated farmland. Because we could tuck the Skyclave Apparition to get a 4/4. I think we might have to just lose to Fairy here. So Chandra, we can make a 1/1. Archon makes enter tapped, unfortunately. So we can Archon for 4. Or we can Shark Typhoon for 4. Block the Skyclave. I think we're just going to have to give up on Teferi here. We'll have a Teferi. We'll have a Chandra to follow up with. But it's going to make our opponent like play around, settle the wreckage, just some other bits as well. No, they're not going to play around, settle the wreckage at all. So let's just go for 5. Is there something not allowing us to do this? Okay, I don't know what that was. Oh, we can only do it for 4. What? My math is really poor. 4 is fine. Okay, so 3, 4, 5. So if we block the Archon, which is what we want to do, Teferi take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If we block the free power thing, it's going to take 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's no way to save it, so we'll just block Archon. Apparition even. God, I need to read the cards before I keep saying what we're blocking.
I suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
Opponent gets their Love Struck Beast back here. But can't attack, since they put the counter on the human.
Diversity is our greatest strength.
We just cast out the Vivian here and then cycle the Triome. and wait till we can do something with Chandra in the same turn.
I didn't expect to be prey.
Because our opponent, I mean, our opponent can attack in if they have a love strike, if they have a 1/1 for this love strike beast. There's another one, nice.
The arcbow quivers with excitement.
Yeah, we need to find a board wipe. We have plenty of them.
Today's a new mutation.
This makes me think we want another, we want the Cleansing Novas. They can put it on like a Vigilance Beast, and then they get to start getting in there. They're putting on a Reach Beast. I think if our plan is to draw board wipe, then I think we should block. Yeah, unfortunately they're gonna get to activate. They're gonna get Vivian again, like the passive of Vivian, to refill. But there's no way for us to answer Vivian this turn, so I guess we just go for this. And I think we have to do something proactive here. There's no 1-drop that we'd need to play our mana first.
Oh, this
So
is
we'll just
gonna hurt.
shoot our opponent. And we'll hope that that's enough. Our opponent has the potential to get a lot more card draw off their Vivian.
My herd grows ever larger.
So this is with lesser, so like a Scavenging Ooze or something. Or like a Tiger for some resilience. Or the Lion even. Cat. It is a Tiger, isn't it?
This'll be easy.
Our opponent just gets to... The Lion gets to survive, doesn't it? Guess we like hold on to the board wipe for one more turn. They can't kill Chandra this turn, hopefully. And hopefully our opponent's just going to overextend a little bit more.
Diversity is our
Without
greatest
another
strength.
cast out, we're not going to be able to save Chandra though, from this Lion.
Hey! Watch it!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, what can we do here? It's a lot of hoops to jump through. We could Chandra tick up to add mana. To Fairy Tuck Lion. I guess we wouldn't need to Chandra. Let's just tick up Chandra to exile a card. Let's have a look what we draw.
Oh, this
That's
is gonna hurt.
perfect. We'll get the Lion. We can only cast one spell a turn. Oh, sure, okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. Our opponent is casting these off the top, aren't they? I think we counter this. Since it's going to get the Lion back. And that was a bit of hard work we went through to get that. Yeah, we're in a bit of a pickle here. We need to find a cast out.
New mutation.
Yeah, I forgot we could only cast one spell a turn. So we should have Wrath of God first.
We're done here.
opponent's got a pause. I can only imagine they have a collected company.
I won't hide from the world.
If they have a collected company, then I guess that's fine.
Let's take
At least now that they did the collected company after the Vivian, means that the Vivian gets shuffled away now. They get to kill Teferi, we get to Wrath of God. Whore. So they get their Vivian back.
Every mutation displays nature's ingenuity.
Vivian feels good.
I brought friends. Lots of them.
Fortunately, the fourth Wrath here is going to be good. Opponent again will get to keep their Vivian and Lion. They didn't attack with the other Skyclave. So we get a 2-2 and a 4-4. And then Narset's gonna hopefully dig us a bit deeper or something. Chart Typhoon's okay. So we are like hanging on by a wire. Okay. We're gonna have to trade off here, I think. I think digging with Narset is correct. Opponent doesn't matter where they swing the questing bees. They should have swung at us, obviously, but I don't think it matters. Okay, so opponent's going to take over with their Planeswalkers, but gotta hope.
I have just the trick for this.
Okay, cast out. I don't know how much we care about Narset now. Our opponent has no cards in hand, nothing, but I know if we cast out this Vivian, our opponent's going to have an answer to the cast out. We're going to go for it anyway, because it's like an endless stream of card advantage that our opponent has. But they can't have too many. How many Skyclave? Skyclave Apparitions, they've gone through 3 of them. Night of Autumns, they've gone through 2. Yeah, I think we're just going to leave it there. And our opponent, I don't know if they got Narset. I think let's take this. Maybe should have actually traded with the Beast. If our plan was to trade next turn, which I think it is, then maybe we should have done that. So just make a 5/5 shark here.
Yup, you're going down.
Hope that our opponent doesn't have a way to put a counter on the shark or the lion. If they do, we can always chump now and baffling end it next turn. Okay, so we might be turning the corner against his hate bears, but these Vivians, them Vivians are strong though. This makes me think we want some sort of Planeswalker answer in our board. I think we definitely want the Cleansing Novas, and I think like the Elspeth Conquers Death feels good as well. What do we not want? Sweltering Suns feels like it answers a lot of what our opponent's doing, but also not a lot. And since we're bringing in these board wipes, I feel like they're just better. What else do we not want? Maybe like an Absorb. I don't know. Let's cut and absorb, but I guess Bone Crusher Giant can answer two things, so I think it's more of a reason to keep in the Bone Crusher Giant. And Absorb's going to be worse on the draw anyway. So yeah, let's run it like that and see how we go on. This hand is so slow. Ugh. Are we going to draw something? We're going to draw something, aren't we? Opponent mulligan to 6. We mulligan pretty hard in the first game. So, opponent should do some mulliganing as well. Turn 2 Lana roll, so they drew that for turn. Just gonna shock that away. And then might play the Bone Crusher Giant next turn. Depends on what opponent does. Yeah, I think we'll just play the Bone Crusher Giant out. Yeah, we control a plane. Oh, Archon will make it enter untapped, so we can't play it anyway. Yeah, enter tapped. So we won't be playing a board wipe next turn, so maybe just Bone Crusher Giant in next turn. Put some pressure on our opponent, even though pressure's not exactly what we want to do. So they have like Collected Company here, yeah. There's no way that they don't have something to do on turn 4, yeah. No! Board wipe is what we've got against this. I guess we get 3/3 back from the board wipe. Damn this Vivian! Our opponent has 1 card in hand though, so I would like to imagine that if we can survive, we'll be okay. If we can just hold out for a little bit longer. We also have the answer to the Vivian.
My herd grows ever larger.
Oh, opponent gets to go search for a 1 or 2 drop. Opponent's trying to tax us out of the game. What do we do here? Fortunately, we just didn't draw a land. Could cycle cast out, try and hit a land, and then play the Bone Crusher Giant. Blocks pretty well. And we can double block the Beast. We're giving up our answer to Vivian, but we have like tons of other answers. I think we need to hit land. ECD is also an answer to Vivian. It's quite a good answer since we can get back some of our Planeswalkers when they come up. Yeah, missing land drops is going to be quite painful here.
We will adapt to any threat.
The problem is here we're going to get taxed too much, yeah. Can make a 1/1 with our Shark Typhoon still. Yeah, not drawing lands is going to hurt here, so we can get to make a 1/1. But yeah, even if we draw land, it's not going to be enough for Cleansing Nova now. We really needed to draw land. I think that was the last turn that we had an opportunity to draw that.
Beauty lies in variation.
I guess if we draw land now, we can survive. It has to be a land this draw though. We can't afford to not draw land again. Even then, we're not out of the woods. We need like a series. Oh, Okay, so we're taking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Our opponent can eat a load of stuff as well. Yeah, GG. Was the next card a land? No. Okay, that's fine. Oh, screwed on lands. But yeah, like, had we have drawn a land there, I think the Wrath of God would have been fine. It was just like another land, one more. But yeah, like, it happens sometimes. But let's just move on to the next game. So I think we got lands and spells, and we can cycle cast out, so I think we're going to keep this. I don't like drawing the 4th cast out, though, especially against all Goblins, okay? I don't like this hand against Goblins very much. I mean, we're just double cycling here, aren't we? This hand is awful against Goblins. Okay, at least we get to kill the chieftain. Okay, so opponent has another haster, but got triple cast out. When you have triple of one card, you're going to draw the extra one. I don't know if our opponent can even attack here. It feels like a little bit of a waste. We're going to cycle 2 of these cast outs, though. Is there a reason? Let's cycle 1 now in case we hit like a baffling end. No. Okay. The thing is, Muxus is coming up. And if they didn't have Muxus in hand, they have Muxus in hand now. So we have 2 draws to find an absorb. Unless our opponent has a prospector here. Snoop. They have Chain Whirler coming off the top as well. I guess if we board wipe here, our opponent has to have a land as well as Muxus, and I think that's the best we can do really in this situation. Hope our opponent hits poorly or they don't have a land. We know that if they don't have a land in hand, then we've already laid down this turn. Then they're not drawing 1 for turn because they got the Goblin Chain Whirler. Okay, so they didn't have land. That feels good. Again, draw land, not much we can do.
I'm the best fire starter there is. It's playtime.
Gone through all of our cast outs. I think we're going to cycle this cast out. Yeah. Opponent gets a cost reduction now, so they'll be able to cast Muxus next turn. And there's not much we can do about that. I guess cycle Shark Typhoon for none. That's okay. That if our opponent doesn't draw land again, that's like something. But like we are hanging on. Oh. I love these matchups where you're literally hanging on by the skin of your teeth. Okay, our opponent's drawing land next turn, but we found the counter spell. Sweet. Oh, do you know what I mean? Like sometimes it comes in clutch, sometimes it doesn't. We had some hands where we didn't draw what we needed to do. And our opponent's drawing a land, yes! Oh. Pulling it out. How do you even do it? Like, okay, Tail's End coming in. I think Sweltering Suns is like not where we want to... Sweltering Suns like cut some board wipes. Sweltering Suns hits like everything, doesn't it? In the same way. What do we not want? I still think some selective removal like Baffling End's okay. Maybe we cut the Baffling Ends because we have the Bone Crusher Giants. This hand has a Tail's End, so we have an answer to a Muxus, so probably going to keep this. and lands, so... do play out this land. I don't think so. We can cycle the irrigated farmland. We need to find... if it was a red source, maybe. Swirling Suns isn't bad. Okay, Goblin player's not doing anything till turn 3. So, yeah, let's pass. I don't think we need to Narset. Obviously need to lay the Glacial Fortress, but... I think that's fine. So opponents had one of their slower Goblin starts. I wonder if it is Cycling Shark Typhoon for 1 here. Let's put out a blocker. It's a little bit worse against a Chain Whirler, but at least we get to draw. Our opponent's not playing Muxus next turn.
When people start screaming, I know I'm on track. Oh, today's my lucky day.
Yeah, and we'll just chump this Chain Whirler. And then we could always Sweltering Suns next turn, even off the Chandra. Sweltering Suns looks really good as well. Opponent playing a few more Goblins out. Not playing around a board wipe at all. That seems weird that they would give up the mana to do that.
Alright, that's it! This'll be easy.
Seems okay. I guess just Bone Crusher Giant, Tail's End. Our opponent can't really have a Muxus at the moment, but... yeah, that's fine. We'll just let this trigger go off. We can stop it at the Tail's End, but we'll counter the Muxus. Do we want to Bone Crusher Giant that? Okay, what are we doing here? We need to like, leave up Tail's End. So... can we Teferi... we can't Teferi and Narset, because we only have 2 blue available. We couldn't play Castle of Antris because we don't have an island in play. So, Teferi, see what we draw. I guess we Chandra first. Can't cast that, unfortunately. Would have loved to have played Teferi and ticked that up. And drew that.
I know what must be done. We need to move quickly.
Cage is really good as well. That's just an answer to Muxus all in itself. Hopefully they don't have the 4-drop that can sack a Goblin to destroy an artifact. When they got it, they got it. That's fine. We have the Tail's End though. It makes our Bone Crusher Giant a little bit worse as well. Because we can't Bone Crusher Giant the Matron. I guess we could Tail's End the ability. Interesting. I think I like Tails ending the ability, actually. Opponent scoops it up. I guess that was actually wrong, because our opponent could have sacrificed the Goblin itself. It's not another goblin, it's a goblin. So they could have sacrificed that. So it was definitely right to allow that to go off and then to shoot it with the Chandra. And then, yeah, hold up the Tails End for the Muxes on the next turn. But nevertheless, we got there, so it was good. Yeah, I think I like this hand. We get to cycle the Irrigated Farmland late and get to do some Bone Crusher Gianting. Bone Crushing, I guess? Mobilized Districts. Our opponent on the Colourless list. If so, these Bone Crushers aren't going to be great. Yeah, it looks like they're on Colourless. I guess we get prepared to hold up Absorb next turn. This is a matchup where Sensor's really good. To be able to stop these play. Obviously with the tap lands, Sensor's not great. Oh man, we could have punished that big time. We'll hold up Absorb here, but we could punish the Guardian Idol activation. Give us actually something to do. You've got to imagine that they're playing around. Okay, I was going to say, you've got to imagine they're playing around and Absorb here. I think we try and put our opponent under a bit of pressure if they play a Planeswalker. And then we get to Teferi next turn if they resolve something scary. So yeah, plan's going to have to be to just tuck that. I don't have high hopes against this this colourless list though, since our opponent can go land into Ugin next turn, and they're not far off an Ulamog. I guess in response they could have put 2 counters on this. Not the Ugin I was thinking about, but yeah. Opponent's running Cage.
Keep up the pace.
So we know they have Monument coming up next term. Hopefully this card was not that relevant. And stop them taking out Teferi.
Your quest is futile.
So, and get to Shark Typhoon for 1 if we want to. Yeah, this counter's very far off flipping. Yeah, Colourless Monument's going to give our... The Forsaken Monument's going to give our opponent a lot of mana. And this Ugin has generated quite a bit of card advantage. Do we trade off here? You can cycle and then double block, if that's what we want to do. Equally, we could just chump block and then... I guess they can activate. Nah, they can activate in their turn as well, so we can't get through to their Ugin either way. they get to put some counters on the Crawling Barons. So, taking out some of their mana. Let's draw.
No time for a break.
I guess let's Nasa, have a look what we find.
If you wish to surrender,
Really like to find an answer to
I
Zugin.
understand. Keep an open mind.
I guess Chandra's an answer. We're going to lose some of our Planeswalkers, unfortunately. We're so close to being dead. If our opponent top decks an Ulamog and Ugin, I'm gonna scoop to that.
Oh, yep, you're flammable.
This is a matchup that's not too great for us. Definitely, I don't think we're favoured in this matchup. Yeah, we're gonna lose. We can lose 2 of our Planeswalkers here with Crawling Barons and Guardian Idol. Take out Chandra and like Teferi. Or opponent just has big Papa Ugin. Or little boy Ugin.
Exploit ripples through time. Be mindful.
Yeah, opponent's only going to go for 1 of them.
Secrets manifest before you.
This is a matchup, I think, where you put in the Cleansing Novas in the board for a reason, and this is the matchup that they are good in. Hopefully this is a matchup, yeah, where we can just let our opponent build up like this and then Cleansing Nova away our opponent's board. Because if we top deck the Cleansing Nova, say we're in game 2, that would be awful for our opponent. That would lock it away for us, I think. Let's cycle. Have a look what's on top. Absorbs a nice little bit of insurance.
Thoughtfulness before action.
So we could cast out Monument and Ugin. We could also play Searchhouse Canter. I think I like that. We get to go, yeah, cast out, Searchhouse Canter. So we get rid of the Forsaken Monument, the Ugin. This then turns into a 2/2. We sit back on block, so opponent can attack in. I guess they can attack in just. We can chump block if we want to save something. And then our opponent has 1 draw. If not, we have Absorb up. And we set up the Searchhouse Canter. So if our opponent takes down a Planeswalker and we chump block with our Bone Crusher Giant, then enough cards will be in the graveyard for Searchhouse Canter. So yeah, coming through clutch with the double cast out. Just really got to hope that our opponent doesn't have an Ulamog off the top, Ugin off the top.
This experience still proved useful.
Since they could still screw us here. That would be so devastating. Yeah, I'd scoop to that very quickly. Go on, opponent, 1 draw. I would imagine they would have just slammed it since we're tapped down. Okay, Khan. Khan's pretty bad. Not the end of the world though.
Say hello to my little friend.
So we're not going to have enough cards in the graveyard to flip Search Canter. Yeah, we'll chump block. Do we want the second counter spell? I guess we flip Search, don't we? It's not bad. Let's draw an extra card. Let's look at the top card.
This is gonna hurt.
This is not an artifact, is it? No. So we cannot kill the construct. I guess we just lose one of our planeswalkers here and this answers the token. Opponent gets to draw, like, okay, like, unfortunate. And then we hope our opponent ticks down so we can Bone Crusher Giant it. I think we can lose Chandra now that we have Search Canter going. We have 2 more Chandras in the list. Okay, so opponent's got Radiant Fountain. What's the last card? Yeah, opponent's not going to tick down.
I'll make use of that later.
They can have a Radiant Fountain. Can our opponent... No, they can't just kill us here, I don't think. Yeah, Cast Out is non-land permanent, so Crawling Barrens is not something we're going to have an answer to soon. We're going to have to like match it with a Cast and Ardenvale attack every turn, or activation. So, could save Chandra here. Opponent's given us the option to. Do we want to save Chandra, or would you rather a Search Canter activation? Difficult. Chandra's going to give us an extra card. Search Canter digs us 4 cards. But Chandra's like 3 value every turn. It makes me nervous because we're tapping down, putting our Absorb down. So if our opponent has like an Ulamog or Ugin here, then we get punished big time. Just a Garden Idol. That's fine. Okay, so Wrath of God, wipe that away.
Yup, you're going down.
Baffling End's also an answer. Yeah, Crawling Barrens is going to be able to start attacking our Chandra down, but we can answer it with Castle Ardenvale each turn. We don't run Tails Ends in the main. Yeah, that's not good. No Field of Ruin as well. Not that Field of Ruin would buy us tons of time anyway.
Awaken.
But yeah, that's going to be backbreaking. I've only gives us the oops. I don't think that it's going to matter too much since Blast Zone can just answer these cast outs really well. I have no idea what we're digging for. Nope. We can cast out one of them again, but they have another Blast Zone, so yeah, gonna scoop it up there. We could play through that. Like, well, no, we couldn't play through that. I don't think we can I don't think we can realistically beat that. Let's bring in the Tail's End, Vetoes, and Cleansing Nova. Just cut a load of cards and see what we want to bring back in. I guess Dovin's Veto we do want. This gets Crawling Barons. Maybe just Narset and ECD as well. How good are board wipes? So we have Cleansing Nova as a potential board wipe. Seal Away's removal, Teferi's removal. Just go like that. Gonna have to mulligan a one lander. And mulligan another one lander. And no blue mana. Oh my god, we're mulliganing again. Yeah, let's go. 4 land hand. We are running 27 lands, and we've been drawing quite a few one-landers. We'll give it our all. Yes, we will counter the trigger to the Void. Saffron Void. No scry for you. I guess Cleansing Nova is going to be... Revealing it to our opponent is unfortunate, but Cleansing Nova is what we're going to have to pick here. Opponent gets to just Guardian Idol Narset here if they want to. Oh, getting down a Khan under our counter spell.
I battle for the forces of good. Evil cannot withstand a righteous heart.
We're just going to sack Narset here. I don't think we can afford to not get all of the card advantage we can get on a mulligan. Just going to extend out a little bit. We need something going. I don't think we can sit behind our counter spell comfortably. Our opponent has 5 mana available to them. They know about the Cleansing Nova, so that might actually be good somewhat, because it might stop our opponent from overextending too much. Let's see though. They're just going to go for Golos. Go grab another land. I'd imagine they run the land that allows them to activate Golos. So we lose Chandra next turn either way. We don't want a Cleansing Nova, like... We could Cleansing Nova destroy all artifacts. Is that what we're doing? We get to keep our Chandra around. Chandra will go up to 6 loyalty as well. So opponent can attack it down with the Crawling Barons if they want to spend their whole turn.
Today's my lucky day.
Just get our 3 for 1. Not going to be enough though. I fear. We have a second Cleansing Nova though, and Narset can maybe dig us towards one. I don't think we can afford to sit behind our counter spells. We could have played Narset.
My allies are counting on me.
They're going to go get a Sorcerer's Spyglass, no Monument. Are we gonna get to Ultimate Ashandra here? Probably not. We can take away the Monument. I guess Khan can animate the Graph Digger's Cage. See what our opponent does, like, because they're incentivized to animate that, but then they have to spend the whole turn attacking with the Crawling Barons. I mean, Chandra Ultimate's how we're going to win, aren't we? So we just let this resolve? I feel so bad, though. Stop the Khan trigger, and then we get to Ultimate Chandra. I mean, that's how we're going to win, isn't it?
Let's light it up.
Take out Khan. And then, I mean, we know what we're doing now. There's not much we can do beyond that. Cleansing Nova would be something that'd be good. How many cards do we have in the graveyard? 4. I think Search Scanter is going to be too slow. But we don't even have the land for ECD. I guess ECD is an answer to their Forsaken Monument. If we top deck a land, since we don't really want our opponent to gain that much life as well. Our opponent's got to kill us quickly, I think, with a Chandra emblem. They could just have an Ulamog here, though, then exile our lands. Yeah. Okay, I don't think we're going to be able to fight through this, guys. I think this is going to be too much to handle. It's going to be nice. They're gonna beat a Chandra Ultimate. Yeah, GG. Okay, we played as much as we could through a mulligan to 4, but yeah, Ulamog wiping away all of our lands is pretty unfortunate. So let's just go on to the next one. Okay, so a little bit of dodgy mana. Our lands enter tapped, but we have land spells, something to catch us up in a creature matchup. Absorb's gonna be okay in control-y sort of matchups, but we're on the draw. Okay, it feels bad because we're in the mirror match or Azorius with some unfortunate lands and on the draw. Hopefully our opponent maybe respects counter magic, like 1 mana. Maybe we're running Spell Pierce. So Soaring Sun's good here. Just cycle it away, replace it with something else. Okay, so mana's sorting itself out a little bit. I guess we'll just cycle Shark Typhoon for 2 here. And then we can just start activating Castle Ardenvale next turn. Let's attack in. Opponent could have their own Shark Typhoon. If they do, so be it. Opponent like has an ECD or something. Pause in end step. So yes, we have a pause. Full control, because I know what Arena's like. If we could hold up Absorb, we'd have held up Absorb, but we can't, so. So opponent could go like Teferi Tuck of their own. Yes.
I'm known for my excellence. Let's skip to the
Nope, they're just gonna tick up. I think we just tuck this away. And we'll play this in case our opponent has another Teferi or something. I guess it might have been correct to hold up double Absorb. But if our opponent has like another Planeswalker, then we'd rather be able to pressure it in 2 ways. So maybe our opponent just wanted to like rush they really wanted to eat our shark, because all of this is coming back from the ramifications of the shark. So I think we'll just attack. If our opponent has their own Shark Typhoon, it's unfortunate. Okay, I think we do want to cast out this, since it threatens our Teferi as well. We at least get to untap some lands in the end step. Yeah, let's not tap down. I don't think it's worth tapping down when our opponent could easily have like a cast out. Hopefully we're generating just enough card advantage here that even if our opponent resolves Teferi, it'll be okay. Our opponent's got all the sharks. Nice, I love it. So it's difficult to know how much advantage is really being passed back and forward here. So if we play this, at the moment we get to hold up double absorb, don't we? So that's probably correct to do above playing the Bone Crusher Giant there. And we can always make a token. Sweet. So yeah, Teferi's just outgrinding our opponent here.
You know what? I'm not done.
Search for Scanter should be quite good as well. So we only have the single absorb, so we shall play the Bone Crusher Giant out, just like I said before, just to threaten our opponent in like a different angle. So if they can, for some reason, play through our absorb. Sweet, yeah, see. Opponent has an answer to Teferi. At least we got theirs off the board at the same time. And it's sort of like saving it for later. How many cards do we have in graveyard? 5. Yeah, we'll keep this. It's not going to flip it just yet. Thing is, we've just drawn so many cards at this point. To be fair, 2 of our cards are dead. Like Bone Crusher Giants, I think, are definitely not dead in this matchup. They can finish off Narsets and Teferis. I love Bone Crusher Giant as a card. I think it's so good. We have a pretty much same old sideboard plan against these decks. Just like that. Pretty much every card in the matchup's good. I like it all. Yeah, I think this hand's okay. Keep it. Lands and spells. Do we allow our opponent the opportunity to get down a Narset? We get to go Search for Scanter. Yeah, we're gonna... If they can get down a Narset, they can get down a Narset. That's fine. I think we really should get down our Search for Scanter. Since if our opponent just sits behind counter spells now, we are definitely in trouble. And we don't actually have a way to stop it. So if opponent taps down here for whatever reason, then Chandra's okay. They might have like a Shark Typhoon there. Gonna cycle these cast outs, I think. Cycle both. Just draw some more cards. More counter magic. Hit our land drops. Search for Scanter's good. I think we can... I guess we'll find... We gotta hope we'll find our land drops. Since we can Dovin's Veto here if we need to. Or just cycle Shark Typhoon for 2. Gotta hope that in Shark Typhoon 1, Searchlight Scanter Scryer, we can find a land. Our opponent will definitely have their own vetoes after boarding. Triple veto. Yeah, graveyarding anything that is not a land. Okay, we found land. Let's attack first. Opponent's going for the Shark Typhoon again. Let's see how it works out for them. Because I'm gonna make the same play that we made last time.
I knew you needed my help.
This time we're just doing it with a Narset though. I would have done with Teferi, I would have tucked. Actually, probably would have Teferi. Yeah, I would have Teferi tucked had we have had the untapped land. Our opponent gets to go their own Teferi here, tuck Chandra if they want to, but we then get to go Teferi.
Right on schedule. No time for a break.
I think we have to graveyard anything that is not a land. Let's tick up first.
This'll be easy.
It's a shame you can't redirect. So our opponent like has a Dovin's Veto here, don't they? Let's just pass the turn. Yeah, they have a Teferi. We're sort of matching it with our Chandra, kinda.
We need to move quickly.
That kinda slash not really. I think we cast a Wild Veil here for. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have a cast out. Let's go again, yeah.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Let's just keep that Teferi off of ultimating for a little bit. Our Searchlight Canto is a lot closer to flipping than our opponents. We just need to hit land drops. We have so much stuff to do. I think we have to decline here as well. Since we need to leave the Dovin's Veto up.
That was uncalled for.
Yeah, we're not running Mystical Disputes on our board.
Hurry.
So land. Let's graveyard that. Transform. Really just want to hit lands. No land. Our opponent definitely has their counter spells up. Guess let's go to combat first. In case our opponent wants to shark.
No more games.
This'll be easy.
Fortunately, finding all of the lands off of our Chandra. Okay, opponent's going to go for the Scry. So our play is to go Shark Typhoon. Again, try and hit land drops. We have like so many counter spells, we just can't let our guard down. Can stop pretty much whatever our opponent wants to do. Shark Typhoon and Teferi Ultimate are what we're scared of. We've both got like so many cards in hand, so it's fine. But our opponent's not pressuring our Chandra. So let's full control, allow our opponent to let that trigger go. So we could do it for free, and we get to hold up veto that way. I don't think we can realistically tap down. So if our opponent casts out our Narset, our Chandra, is going to feel really bad. So yeah, we're exactly where we want to be with all of our counter spells. Just need to find lands. So we can absorb and then still Dovin's Veto if our opponent has like a Dovin's Veto in response. And then we can still Dovin's Veto in our opponent's turn. And then, yeah, we can still Dovin's Veto next turn. We don't mind sort of running cards down here because we have Chandra and Jeskai Control going. Land is spectacular. Gonna have to throw whatever this is, basically, our opponent.
Oh, today's my lucky day.
Yeah, gotta let this go. Strange, our opponent kept his seal away. Maybe this is explicitly for Shark. That'd make sense. Would have loved to have dealt more damage to that Teferi, but don't think we can let the veto down. Now they're on double activations of Azcanto. If they have second Narset here. Feels bad.
You know what? I'm not done.
Yeah, strange that they didn't activate Teferi first.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
They definitely have counter spells, so we're just gonna keep attacking Teferi. And just gonna activate RS Cantor or Castle Ardenvale.
No
Both.
more games.
We can activate both. Opponent's just probably gonna oh no, but they're gonna cycle the center. Opponent's definitely outvaluing us at the moment. Narset's if I keep with Narset, Chandra is not quite as strong as Teferi. Again, full control, let's allow them to untap first. And we're just gonna elect to not tap down, just make Castle Ardenvale tokens. Yes. How many Shark Typhoons has our opponent gone through? 2. Can just take out the Shark. We set ourselves back on Chandra quite a bit, but we're not getting to an ultimate. So our opponent's up to. Does this mean our opponent doesn't have a counter spell? It feels like if they're countering this with the Tails End, they are really desperate. I don't know what this means. Does this mean our opponent doesn't have a counter spell, in which case we can just resolve Teferi? Like, why would your tail's ending a Chandra trigger, which I understand kind of why you're doing it, but then you cycle Censor to then tail's end again. I guess we could let this go, play Teferi. If our opponent counters it, then at least we have Dovin's Veto up. And they need Dovin's Veto, like, let's let it go.
Oh, that's nasty.
So they need Veto or Mystical Dispute here. I guess Mystical Dispute we can still start, but Mystical Dispute. One time, don't have it. Oh no! Oh my god, no. This has left us in a really, really bad situation now. They even have the cast out.
This was a waste of my time.
Yeah, that feels really bad. We needed him not to have, like, Mystical Dispute there. It's going to be real difficult to claw back now, especially with Veto in hand. Opponent's going to completely outvalue us here with an extra draw each turn, Teferi, and 2 Searchlight Counter activations. I think they just came down to having the Mystical Dispute there because we could have still Teferi tick up so we can hold up the absorb, or we could just tuck the Shark and then hit the Teferi down a bit more. I think we're on the Make Castle Arden Vale tokens plan. Do they have Settle the Wreckage? Dig in for Settle. This could be long and grindy, but we're gonna play through it.
Do you want me to phase you out of time?
Just gonna make 2 tokens a turn and hope that this is good enough. Our opponents definitely, like, they've outground us with card advantage. We're just gonna see if they can stop 2 Castle Arden Vales now, and if they can, I'd like to know how. So when we go into game 3, we can be aware of that. Yeah, Mystical Disputes feel good in this matchup. They played for a lot of counter magic. As did we, though. Like, they had tons. I think we're going to go at our opponent now, though. Leave the Teferi. They've got far too much card advantage. They're going to discard now each turn. I wouldn't be surprised if they were discarding Sensors and stuff like that now. Like, board wipe is going to be what they've got, but it depends if they kept in their board wipes, and if they did, I'd like to know why. Maybe for this exact situation. We'll stop Teferi from ultimating where possible, but opponent's running like Memorial to Genius, and that's just extra value in their mana base. I don't know if they need it, but still is okay. I think between Temples and Arden Vale and Vantress, don't know if you need it. The opponent's discarding relevant spells as well. Opponent's definitely, like, I mean, I don't know if they can answer. They've got 17 cards left in library. Yeah, Sharks are a way to answer this. Opponent's got to cast enough spells now. They've gone with this cycle.
keep up.
Yeah,
the
they're
pace.
gonna finish us quite quick with these sharks. So let's cycle for 3. That still gives us 1 Castle Art and Veil activation. And we can eat one of their other sharks, changing this from a 2-turn clock into a 3-turn clock. Does this mean we just cycle again? I guess we should have just cycled for 4, actually. I think we both have realised that this is a game of who can kill the opponent the quickest now. Not grinding out. Gonna play around our opponent, have another Shark Typhoon and removal. Since we can't kill our opponent this turn, might be able to next turn. Opponent's going for the big shark. Guess we could find... Oh no, Tail's End wouldn't work. So yeah, I think that's just lethal now. Our opponent could just tuck our shark. Playing around Bone Crusher Giant. So they can just Teferi tuck now. Nice to know they have Dream Trawlers though. We'll just scoop it up there. Oh, okay, so a bit grindy, but let's go on to game 3. And I don't think there's anything we want to change. Our opponent has Dream Trawlers, so maybe we want some answers to Dream Trawlers. Could bring in Cleansing Nova. I can imagine Cleansing Nova being better than Wrath of God. What do we want to cut? Maybe Bone Crusher Giants? Just trim on Bone Crushers. But we do want an answer to Dream Trawler, but this could also catch all artifacts and enchantments. Which, obviously, we're not going to cast it if we have all of our cast outs out, but it could get our opponents. Okay, this hand is not particularly good, since we don't have many lands. I don't know if we mulligan this or not. We have 2 draws to find a land. And Shark Typhoon, we're going to keep. We need to find 1 land, and Shark Typhoon can cycle. Our opponent's mulliganed once. This hand is very, very dependent on drawing a land. We're going to cycle Shark Typhoon for no value, just to try and ensure we hit this. But our opponent's been paying attention as well. They'll notice we don't have any sensors. I have noticed they do have sensors. Okay, lands are great. It would have been better to have been an untapped land, but beggars can't be choosers. Opponent has something, but they're now set. Just going to get down on our set as well then. That was really risky though. If our opponent, if we didn't have Censor or Veto, we could have stopped that and then gone with Narset ourselves. We don't have a double red source, unfortunately, so we can't resolve the Chandra. I think Shark Typhoon is going to be better. Opponent's just going to replace their Narset here.
Keep an open mind.
don't think we want to replace ours. If that was an untapped land, I wouldn't have minded. Mind? I think we're just going to pass with Shark Typhoon up. And kill this Narset. Yeah, I don't think our opponent should tick down there.
Thoughtfulness before action.
Maybe, like, obviously we don't know what they've got. They just want the value. But it puts it in range of dying to the shark. We really need a red source. It's obviously the disadvantage of playing 3 colours above what our opponent's playing. Just consistency. So we get to Chandra hold up Dovin's veto. Opponent can't mystical dispute this. Sweet, yeah. Chandra definitely relevant.
You want to go, tough guy?
We could resolve another Narset. I don't think so though. I think we just hold up Dovin's veto.
Yup, you're going down.
Okay, so I don't know about our position. Our position's okay. Not insane.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Yeah, opponent has a Shark Typhoon for 4. I think we just have to allow Shark Typhoon for 2. I guess we can Shark Typhoon for 2 as well and still hold up veto. They could have a Tail's End, but like, okay. Oh. Let's still go for it. Opponent could have like a cast out. I guess if they have a cast out, we get to cast out their cast out. And they wouldn't be attacking Chandra, I think, if that was the case.
Now you've done it.
So just Shark Typhooning for the max value in the end step is probably better. Just so we can successfully block this. Okay, that changes things a little bit. We know our opponent has a mystical dispute. It's just if our opponent has a veto or not. Baneslayer Angel, though, not something I've seen too much. Do we just kill Shark?
Time to toast your marshmallows. S'mores, anyone?
Yeah, I think I'm just happy to just pass turn. Hold up our counter magic and Shark Typhoon cycle. This cast out makes our Cleansing Nova a little bit worse. But we can still use this to answer like a Dream Trawler. So let's just do it for 5. If our opponent has an instant speed cast out, I think. If our opponent has an instant speed cast out, 1, 2, 3, 4. A 3 mana left open. They can only take out one of our planeswalkers, and they're both quite problematic. Opponent's like really eager to keep their Narset in play.
This'll be easy.
Yeah, I think we just pass. Opponent doesn't have a Shark Typhoon currently in hand. Hopefully this is going to bait another counter spell. It always feels good when your opponent's mystical disputing like this, because you just get a card out of the hand. We still get to hold up veto though, so it's not the end of the world. I'm not sure why opponent did that. So opponent has like a mystical dispute of their own here. I guess we can resolve Narset, and then if our opponent counters it, get to go to Fairy. Let's tick up Chandra first.
Today's my lucky
So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we'll go like this. If our opponent wants to counter this Narset, which I think they will do if they can. Yeah. So we don't get to draw a card off to Fairy this turn. Okay, our opponent's going to scoop it up. We don't get to draw a card off Teferi this turn, but we'll still tick up so we can hold up the veto. And then next turn, we'll tuck with Teferi, then Narset, and go from there. And yeah, definitely difficult to navigate. So we could have played that a number of different ways, but it was interesting to see Baneslayer Angel from our opponent. Howdy guys, cheers for making it to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the games as much as I enjoyed playing them. What do we think of Jeskai Control? I feel like it's same old story, different day. 3 color combinations of control just aren't inherently as powerful as 2 color combinations. And I know that's a bit of a sweeping statement, but my rationale is the same as it's always been. I should actually retract that a little bit. They are just as powerful, if not more powerful, because they just have access to different tools, or better tools sometimes. But the problem is that the mana is just so inconsistent. It just feels like you're not hitting it. The utility in your land basis is so essential. Like, we wouldn't be running all these shocks and checks. We're running, say for example, we're running Azorius. We're running like 4 Glacial Fortresses, 4 Hallowed Fountains, and then we're running Castle Ardenvales to the max, Castle Vantras, Basics, Scrylands as well. It just feels like we want to be running them. Irrigated Farmlands as well. So we got a little bit of value in our mana basis, but it just feels like, oh, and you have to take so much damage from them as well. And it's not trivial actually to hit double pips and your colors on curve. So definitely something that needs to be considered when moving forward with control. Like I said at the beginning in the deck tech, for anyone who watched, this was not a super competitive video. I'm still getting back into this since I've taken like over a week off. So yeah, it's been refreshing, but it's exciting to get back at the same time. And yeah, just not a competitive one today. Just enjoying playing some Jeskai, enjoying playing some Chandra Torture Defiance because, you know, your mans loves her. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did enjoy the video, or if there's anything you guys want to see, say there's like a different control list, feedback on this control list, maybe there's a different one you want to see, or you want to see more Jeskai or just variations of this list, drop them down in the comments down below. I love to hear what you guys have to say. It's really fun interacting with you. It's one of the best reasons to do these videos, is because it's fun to hear what people have to say about them, and constructive feedback's always good, and positivity is always good. Drop it a like or dislike, comparing like however you felt towards the video. That's absolutely fine. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm just rambling now. So until next time, stay safe.